and then the bar just went a bit skew with, and I just sliced across the top of this fresh concrete. Oh, it's the worst day ever. I broke my phone. This is you and this is your mistake. You need to separate them. Make no mistake, no pun intended. I'm Josh, a builder here in New Zealand. Today's Smoko chat is all about dealing with mistakes. Roll the cheesy intro. Smoko. On Instagram last week, I was talking with an apprentice about mistakes, and they'd made a really big mistake and they were pretty cut up about it. And so literally I've just been spending most of the morning resolving a major mistake on site, and we've got so far into the build and now we have to literally pull a window out and we have to drop it to the height that it was supposed to be, and then we have to rebuild that wall. Fun times. If you're anything like me, you know, when I make a mistake, I tend to play it over and over in my mind, and I'm like, man, why did I do that? Such a stupid thing. And oh, if only I'd done this, or if only I'd said that, I would be so much better off. The problem with that is it doesn't actually benefit me in the moment right now. By playing over the past over and over in my head, I just drag the past into the present and kind of ruin the moment now over something I've done in the past that I can't actually change. Doesn't mean I can't learn from what I've done, but I shouldn't make myself feel stink right now because of something I've done. You know, as an apprentice, I made some real big cock-ups. I remember once we had just poured this like fresh mint driveway, and then the day after we were deboxing and I had the big steel bar and I was like hitting the pegs out to get it, and then the bar just went a bit skew with, and I just sliced across the top of this fresh concrete and put like a gash about that far. The concrete had been brushed and had been edged and it was so mint, and here's me gash all the way along there, and I just like, oh man. I just remember the look on my boss's face like, what have you done? What did you do that for, you muppet? And I just felt so stink. But to my boss's credit, he didn't abuse me, he didn't rip into me. You know, I could tell that I did a dumb move, and he didn't need to do anything to tell me that. If you're a boss, you know, how you approach people on site making mistakes is critical. They're already probably feeling pretty stink. I'm not saying I'm perfect at this. How you handle that mistake is important. Man, I'm probably gonna go outside right now and the guys have made a major cock up and these words are gonna get put to the test. But Sam's behind the camera nodding. He knows something I don't. You know, not only did I make this big gash in the concrete, once I shot my boss in the shin with the nail gun. We were both down in the footing and the nail skewed off and straight into his shin. And he's like, mate, what are you doing? We've put like flash as cedar board, and I'm just a bit happy with the hammer, and the nail slips, and all before you know it, there's a big hammerhead next to the nail, not on the nail. Not only just mistakes, but learning. I remember I cut a fence cap and we'd finished it all and the fence was mint, and then I cut the end one on an angle, and it looks so dumb. And lots of little things like that where you kind of do something in a rush and then you put it up and you're like, oh, that's not right. Fortunately, with my apprenticeship, my boss was the type of person that if it wasn't right, we had to take it off and we had to do it again. He didn't make us feel stink about it, but we had to do it again. And so that process of going back, being forced to go back and fix my mistakes, helped me learn. But the biggest thing I want to touch on in this video is how to deal with it in your head. And I think what you have to look at is that if this is you and this is your mistake, you need to separate them. Imagine this phone and it was up here and it fell down and it smashed and it's got a big crack in it. Just because there's a problem with my phone doesn't mean that there's a problem with me. And so that's how you need to view your mistake. There's a thing over there that you did and that wasn't great, but that doesn't mean that you're not great. So imagine if I did break my phone and it's smashed and the screen's broken, but then for the rest of the day, I go around dwelling on, oh, and everyone's like, hey man, how you doing? Oh man, I suck, I broke my phone. Oh, it's the worst day ever, I broke my phone. Oh, you'll never guess what happened, I broke my phone. People would be like, dude, it's a phone, get over it. Yeah, it would suck to cough up the, whatever it is these days, 200 bucks to fix the phone screen. And I would feel the pain of that, but I would move on. In summary, make no mistake, no pun intended, you need to address your mistakes. So first thing is, how can I fix it and who do I need to tell? Like, there's nothing worse than covering up a mistake. And I've been guilty of this in the past where I've been too ashamed. You know, I've tried to fix it by myself before anyone knows. Let whoever you need to know about it. Be honest, don't be defensive, don't make excuses. Just say, man, you know, like, look, I stuffed up. I'm sorry. I will make sure it doesn't happen again. There's tons of quotes out there about how making a mistake is part of learning, part of growing, and it's only a failure if you do the same thing over and over and over. And so me as a boss, part of what I expect is that the guys working for me, they are gonna break stuff. They are gonna make some silly decisions on site. There is gonna be some costs involved. And so as long as I expect some of that, but I can see that the guys are learning and growing and improving, we can all work together to progress. You know, they progress their learning, the job progresses, and as a boss, I progress in how I deal and cope with these things. One of my favorite quotes is strive for progress, not perfection. And what it encaptures is that perfection is this unobtainable goal that if we hold ourselves to, we do this endless amount of work and put ourselves under this undue stress for no reason. Whereas the more you do, the more you learn, the better you get. Got to the end of Smoko chat and I've still got some coffee left. I guess I better do an outro. If you're still watching at this point, thanks so much. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already, go ahead and click subscribe. Make sure you follow my Instagram stories or comment below for your chance to be on the next Smoko chat question. And I'll see you on the next video. Good coffee.